For this tour, I decided to look at an e-portfolio for a teacher named Molly Lehman. I think the fact that she is a teacher automatically made her e-portfolio look a little different than the examples that were given. I think because the examples were composed of people in media arts or acting related fields, their e-portfolios reflected that with very clear and professional looking photographs and more of an artsy feel. I think this is a good thing because the reader is more likely to be interested in something that is visually pleasing, and the e-portfolio I chose is not as pretty, I would say. Going along those lines, Molly's photo, which is down here, isn't very good because you can't even see her face, and she's kind of, well, she's looking away from the camera. In Mike's e-portfolio, that was one of the examples, it's just a drawing, but I think it's better than what Molly has because it still looks just like him. I do, however, think that Molly did well in her About Me section because if you go over here and click on it on the side, she's very detailed about her experience in school and what she studied and all of her experience in working. You can see throughout the whole thing, she kind of talks about some of the experience she's had at a writing center or a magazine, things like that. And she doesn't get too much into her personal life because it is a professional portfolio, and I think that's important when you're making these things. I also like that down at, or up at the top of the page, Molly has links to her Facebook and her Twitter account. I noticed that two of the other examples had this, but like Mike's did not. And maybe that's because I'm thinking that maybe he doesn't keep up with them, or maybe his Facebook and Twitter aren't professional sites, so he likes to keep them private. But I do like how Molly has it for someone to reference if they want to use it. Um, Getting like to a little bit more basic stuff, I like how her page is organized with the different labels over on the side, and you'll notice why I'm going over some of them that they have, some of them have subcategories, which I feel like is nice, so you don't have a million different categories and pages for people to click on, that they can find the subcategories by going over there and looking at it. I noticed that on the other e-portfolios, most of them only have 4, including Mike's, just pretty basic contact, about me, work I've done, things like that. And I think Molly's is more detailed just because of the field that she's in. Obviously, with teaching, she has things like her philosophy, her lessons plans, how she feels about technology in the classroom, things like that. So it might get a little more detailed. However, like going off of that, I think that her setup could be better just because I think it'd be a little more organized if everything was at the top rather than the side. I don't, personally, I feel like it makes the page look very small when everything's kind of crammed over into each of their sides, and I think it would just look nicer if everything was up top. One thing I do like about her layout is the header. I feel like as soon as you see it, you can see, okay, this is a teacher's page because it has the eraser and the chalk. But it's still very professional. You know, you can kind of tell that maybe she's teaches higher grades, which she does. She's a college professor, but because it's not really cutesy or anything like that, it's still professional, but gets across the fact that she's a teacher. And the other thing I like about her header is the fact that it has a quote that maybe speaks to her or kind of sums up her philosophy, which I think is really good for an e-portfolio because it kind of is an easy way to get across who you are, also kind of creatively showing something that you like. Finally, for the good things that I like about Molly is you'll see over here she has links that people can use, which I think is really a good thing to put on e-portfolio because it kind of shows you're interested in what you're doing. These are the things that you like to look at, and maybe you think that they are important for other people to look at too. I don't know, I think it just says a little bit about the person with the e-portfolio and how much they're involved in their field. The final bad thing that I wanted to go over was I thought Molly's blog could improve if she didn't write so much sometimes. I think with an e-portfolio, people are looking for pretty um, concise, kind of the big picture when they're looking and reading so much. You'll see in her teaching philosophy, it's just very long and detailed and goes very thoroughly into what her philosophy is. And that's the same with her opinion on teaching with technology and everything else. I think someone that's looking at it, unless they're very interested in Molly, would find it kind of overwhelming, maybe a little boring, and they wouldn't want to go into all that detail and could move on to a different uh, e-portfolio because of that. Other than that, I think Molly's page is pretty set up, and that's going to be it for the video. See you later.